Welcome. It's great to be here. You are all welcome to this first knowledge exchange webinar for 2026 on well-being economy in action. And we will also be launching the anthology of a sharing community that features all the wonderful Green Action Week campaigns that was in 2025. I'm Sara Nilsson. I am the Green Action Week coordinator from SSNC, Swedish Society for Nature Conservation, and together with Consumers International, we coordinate the campaign. And again, I'm so happy to be here with you today for this first knowledge exchange webinar. But before we start to go on with the theme today, I want to shortly introduce Green Action Week in case there are some of you who join here today, since it's open for everyone, who have not been involved in Green Action Week before, in case you are new to Green Action Week. So, Green Action Week is a global campaign that promotes sustainable consumption through the joint theme of sharing community. And each year in October, on a focus first week of October, organizations around the world run together campaigns that encourage people to take practical steps towards more sustainable lifestyles, stronger communities, healthier environments. And these campaigns, they often focus on different themes, such as responsible consumption, zero waste, local food systems, environmental regeneration. And the aim is not only to raise awareness, but also to support real action and collaboration at community level. And we will share links to you so you can find out more. And over the years, many organizations have participated in Green Action Week campaigns, and together we all form a community of practice, and we share knowledge, experience, and learning, and we do this in several ways. And one of these ways is these knowledge exchange webinars, like this one, and through conversations on WhatsApp groups and sharing experiences, tools, and lessons from different campaigns and contexts. And all these exchanges help us to build a collective understanding of what works, what challenges we face, how we can strengthen our impact together. And it's also a wonderful opportunity to be part of a connected global community. And there are a number of exchanges lined up over this year, so we will share a link in the chat so you can find out more. And by this short introduction, I want to continue to kick off this knowledge exchange webinar. And yes, we have the theme for today, well-being economy in action. And we will hear from some presenters, and we will be able to have discussion. And through shared insights and lived experience, we will today explore how prioritizing well-being over growth can reshape sustainable consumption. And we will launch the anthology of sharing community. So to all of you who are new, welcome to Green Action Week, Community of Practice. To all of you who are not new, we are so glad that we all are here today. So by this, I will hand over to Natalie from Mycelium.
Thank you, Sarah. It's really great to be here on our first knowledge exchange of the year. And we've got 4 lined up this year, which is very exciting. I'm going to just share the screen. Okay, so first up, just to say we have translation on this knowledge exchange. So here's just, if you're unsure how to find it, here's some details. And you just choose it. Once you click interpretation, you choose your language. All right, so we are very excited to launch the anthology of a sharing community. And this collection brings together stories from the Green Action Week 2025 campaigns from around the world, showing how communities are putting the idea of sharing community into practice, and by doing them in everyday actions. And we've got organizations from across the world, from Africa, Asia, Latin America, and the Pacific. And organizations are sharing food, knowledge, resources, culture, responsibility, and they're doing this in ways that strengthen communities and care for the environment. So what the anthology reminds us is that sustainable consumption is not only about reducing what we use, but it's also about strengthening the relationships between people and the earth. Steph is going to share a link of where you can find this anthology to download it on the Green Action Week website, and I've put the link here as well on the screen. So what is sharing community? A sharing community is rooted in the idea that well-being grows when people care for one another and for the living room world around them. So across many cultures, sharing has always been a part of daily life. There's been exchanging of seeds and sharing of knowledge and caring for land and supporting neighbors. And this is a theme of Green Action Week, and it's a really beautiful theme of bringing people together and building a community that's beyond the sort of the resources of what the financial economy sort of offers, and it breaks through that. And Green Action Week shows that these practices are not just traditions, they're also practical pathways to more sustainable and just economies. So why does sharing community matter? In many places today, communities are facing inequality, environmental pressures, and loss of connection with each other and with nature. And so the idea of sharing community reminds us that many solutions already exist in how people support each other. And so by sharing food, knowledge, resources, and care, when communities share rather than compete, they reduce waste, they support local ways of making a living, and they build stronger and more resilient communities. Sorry, a water break. So we can see here the 5 pathways of sharing. We've got knowledge, food, resources, responsibility, and culture. These are the ones that we focus on in the anthology. And here we show a number of the images of the amazing work that was done in the Green Action Week campaigns last year of the different organizations that were involved in sharing knowledge and skills. And so sharing knowledge and skills is when people come together to learn from each other, whether it's composting, seed saving, reducing waste, or cooking with local foods. When knowledge is shared, it spreads through communities and it helps people solve challenges together. And we've got the second pathway, which is sharing food. Food connects us. It connects us to the land, it connects us to culture and to each other. And when communities grow and cook and share food together, they strengthen health, dignity, and local food systems, which is really important, especially in these times where commercialized and corporate food systems are becoming so large. So it's actually a huge activist act in sharing food. So across Green Action Week, we see seed exchanges, community gardens, and shared meals bringing people together. Sharing resources is our third pathway. So this can mean sharing tools, seeds, land, compost systems, or community spaces. When communities share what they already have, they reduce waste and they save money and they support one another. Our fourth pathway is sharing culture. So this includes sharing stories, traditions, recipes, and ways of caring for the land that have been passed down through generations. So when communities share these traditions, they keep knowledge alive and they strengthen the sense of identity and belonging. And in sharing culture, there's a strong intergenerational sharing that is really beautiful and so important. Our final pathway is sharing responsibility. So sustainability is something we all need to take part in. Communities, organizations, and governments all have a role to play. Across Green Action Week, we see people coming together to clean shared spaces, reduce waste, and advocate for more responsible systems. So these pathways show that sharing is not just an idea, but it's something that communities are already putting into practice in the world. And today we're talking about a wellbeing economy and our knowledge exchange. And we've got some speakers who are coming to share their experiences from their contexts and cultures, which is really exciting. I think there's so much knowledge that can be gained in this global sharing. And they show different approaches that are strengthening well-being for people and communities and the planet. So let's move on to our knowledge exchange. So our speakers today, we've got Reverend Josephat Nkoli, who joins us from Zambia. He's an ordained minister with the United Church of Zambia and a climate justice activist working with faith communities on environmental stewardship. We've then got Aileen Lucero from the Philippines, who's the national coordinator of Eco Waste Coalition and a long-time environmental campaigner working on zero waste and environmental justice. Camara Henry is on a flight at the moment and hopefully will land in time to share with us, but his flight unfortunately was changed at the last minute, so we will see whether we hear from him. And then from Costa Rica, we've been joined by Roxana Salazar, who's a lawyer and civil society advocate with Ambio, working on public policy, human rights, and health advocacy. All right, so we join Reverend Josephat. Let's hear from you.
Thank you so much. Hoping that I'm loud and clear. Everyone is getting me right. Confirm if everyone is getting me right.
I can hear you.
Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, so my, as Ms. Ellen has mentioned, my name is Reverend Josephat Nkoli. I'm here in Zambia, presenting on God's economy of life, where the church has to respond to the climate crisis, and this is what we are doing in the community. For the church, from the scriptural perspective, whatever God created, He created the earth, and it was good. It was wonderful. God created the earth, and it was wonderful. When you read from the scriptural perspective, the Christian Bible, you are going to hear from Genesis chapter 1, verse 1. It talks about how good and how great the earth was as God created it. In God's economy of life, there are essentially four components that are very important that we need to prioritize. Thank you. Yeah, there are essentially four components. We can go to the next slide. That are very important, that are key in the God's economy of life. Yeah, the first one is environmental stewardship. The second one is sustainable practices. Third one, social justice and interconnectedness. In environmental stewardship, we have to protect and preserve the natural world for future generations. We have to understand that our generations will pass, but there is a future generation coming, our children, our grandchildren, others are coming in the near future. We have to, in sustainable practices, we have to promote practices that minimize harm to the environment and prioritize long-term sustainability of the earth. So as we live, we have to do that. We have to be sustainable with our practices, practices that do not harm the environment, so that we continue having our common earth. Social justice. In social justice, we have to address issues of inequality, injustices, particularly in the context of environmental degradation and climate change. Yeah, there are issues, policies, policy making, all these things. We have to address them as a church, and all climate advocates. We have to do that, and the earth will continue, and the environmental health will continue. Interconnectedness. In interconnectedness, we have to recognize that we are interconnected. The human and the natural system, all these are interconnected. We have to advocate for policies and practices that prioritizes the well-being of both the human beings and the natural systems. There are certain teachings that we advocate that humanity is at the center of God's creation. No. Humanity is not at the center of God's creation. God Himself is at the center of His creation. So everyone else every other created order is connected to humanity. So humanity has to be conscious of the well-being of other creations. An economy of life responds primarily to people's needs in the community rather than serving private interests and desires. What we see is there is a need, there is a desire for policymakers and to prioritize private interests, private companies, big corporations in their dealings, forgetting the needs of the people, the communities. Therefore, an economy of life is concerned about justice, that is furthering the right relationships in human community and in the interaction with nature. God's economy of life will always protect the environment. It values cooperation rather than competitive individual achievements and seeks to provide opportunities of productive work for all. It emphasizes participation of the people in decisions about production and distribution and assesses the value of products on the basis of use and sustainability. I've mentioned sustainability. We have to continue with human dignity. We have to encourage solidarity and mutual accountability and serve the common good that ensures ecological justice. This is why if we have to achieve what I've talked about, eco-discipleship becomes an imperative. We can go to the next slide. Eco-discipleship becomes an imperative for all of us because there should be a disciple of what is being propagated for here. This is a person who advocates for God's economy of life. All of us in the community, if we were to become eco-disciples, we are going to advocate for God's economy of life. Eco-disciples should promote economy of life. Their ministry is to teach about God's economy, which was demonstrated in Eden, where everything God created was good. It was green, it was awesome, and humanity was given the opportunity to take care of the earth and as God had designed it. So this is what eco-disciples do. What else are they supposed to do? Eco-disciples require capacitation on God's economy of life. They need to understand God's economy of life. How should things move according to how God created it? For them to work better, they need to study the environmental and ecological economics, which are part of the economy of life. Wherever they will be, they should promote economy of life, and they should be examples of living out what they will do at their homes. They need to advocate, to develop skills in promoting God's economy of life, because everything that God did not create the earth for, I think whatever we bring in the earth, it becomes evil in the eyes of God, because God's economy of life prioritizes the collaboration between humanity and nature and every created order. So it is just important that we continue to teach eco-discipleship, and these disciples begin to develop skills so that they will be able to take care of the earth very well. I think within my time, I think this is what I can present for now, so that we see how those are pictures of record. We are dealing with the youths. We are doing tree planting, preservation of already existing trees, especially the indigenous ones. We have to do tree planting, protection of the indigenous trees that are already existing in the community. That's the community, that's the church. We are doing tree planting, gathering up of trees so that we just plant in the economy. We continue to restock the earth for a greener community. We are working with the youths for the future generation, so that when we are gone, they can continue with the work, eco discipleship. Yeah.
Thank you
I
so
think
much. That was fantastic to hear from you and to see the incredible work that you're doing. As part of SAFC last year, we had a lot of church groups and different faith communities doing incredible work in Green Action Week last year. And with so much enthusiasm, I was really blown away by the enthusiasm that was brought to the campaign through these faith communities. And we do actually, I didn't mention it at the start, but there is a write-up in the anthology also on the work of the faith communities that happened last year because it was just so powerful. So thank you, Josephat. Aileen, can we hear from you?
Good evening, good afternoon, and good morning to everyone. I am Aileen Lucero. I came from EcoWaste Coalition. So EcoWaste Coalition is, we are guided by our vision of a zero waste and a toxic-free society where communities enjoy a safe and healthy environment. Now, for my presentation, solid waste management. So that is what you're seeing in the screen. Solid waste management is a big and complex issue for every country. The world is facing a global plastic crisis. No value plastics have been accumulating in landfills or worse, flowing into our natural environment. But then, now let's look into the vulnerable sector in ways who are also part of our community and the economy and also a consumer. Next, the informal waste sector. These are the men, women, youth, elderly, and children whose lives depends on waste picking and scavenging. These are the waste pickers who further go through the incoming mixed waste without any personal protective equipment to pick out any remaining high value and easy to clean materials such as aluminum cans or PET bottles and sell these to junk shops. They are exposed to physical health risks. They are susceptible to many infections and injuries that they often does not have the purchase power to buy necessary medications. These are also the people who are facing social risks, which is a social stigma. They have increased threat to mental health, such as anxiety from mounting debt and inability to pay the bills. Next, please. The informal waste sector comprises the bulk of workers in the waste sector facing day-to-day health risks. As you can see in the chart flow, there are two processes from the generation. The majority of households do not separate their waste and have their waste collected by the waste pickers, while the former waste collectors pick out the recyclables from the collection trucks and landfills. These formal waste collectors sell their recyclable materials to junk shops at the end of their shift. The vulnerable sector. Next. This vulnerable sector played the most important role in solid waste management. However, they are the most marginalized section of the working class in particular and in society in general. They don't have benefits and rely on daily waste scavenging. So despite the risks, waste workers unhesitatingly do their job exposing self and family in exchange for a small amount that could feed and feed them every day. Next slide. So from which we see as necessary, EcoWaste Coalition through the Green Action Week have initiated and massively campaigned for waste workers' recognition as frontliners and provided guidance and reminded them that they are part of the community and they are the invincible heroes of the environment, particularly mitigating effects of climate change. So what we did for the Green Action Week is, as part of the Green Action Week, is that we provided trainings on self-sufficiency via the urban gardening and providing them information and knowledge on solid waste-based livelihoods. They proved that their sector plays a role in the economy. Women work alongside the men in their family who collect recyclables and manage junk shops and scrap dealing businesses. Women also were employed by processing companies to sort, clean, separate and sift through recyclable material through the various stages of processing, while the men are tasked with the more labor-intensive activities of loading and unloading. No? Apart from waste management, women workers are preferably in skilled and time-intensive tasks where they actively participate in the conversion of post-consumer recyclables for recycling. These women are highly represented in organizations that upcycle, downcycle recyclables into other household products, arts, and crafts. So they also weave different plastic in bags, pouches, and creation of products from recycled paper, making jewelry from metal recyclables. And now they are sharing the knowledge and skills that they have in every waste workers associations in the landfills and communities. They collaborate for a sustainable and strong community. So indeed, what we have initiated in the Green Action Week program has spread through in most of the waste workers and their families in the community. And now they have been sustainable. They have urban gardening. They share their crops. They share their knowledge. And they are now not only depending on the waste picking activities, but with their own resources coming from collaborations from the community. So that's our story. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Aileen. It's incredible work that you're sharing there and really important. It's such an often missed part of society that is actually doing a really important role and playing an incredible role. I can imagine how much more waste there would be if there weren't waste pickers. And it's also very interesting to hear across different countries how that thread appears, especially in the global south. Roxana, can we hear from you?
Yes. Buenos días, yo soy Roxana Salazar de Ambio, de Costa Rica. Voy a compartir la experiencia que desarrollamos con apoyo de Green Action Week. Y estamos, es una alianza que creamos, lo llamamos Unidos en la Lucha por la Salud. Siguiente es cuando, next, please. Cuando iniciamos esto, nuestra alianza para crear una red de personas hacia la búsqueda de soluciones a las enfermedades crónicas no transmisibles, como son diabetes, hipertensión, obesidad que está en crecimiento. Desarrollamos amistad y sobre todo la alianza gira alrededor de un tema que es fundamental, es la salud. La salud es un valor tan importante y sin salud prácticamente no somos nada. Entonces empezamos a compartir casos, muchas de estas son sobrevivientes.
Roxana, I'm so sorry
Sí.
to interrupt you, but the interpretation doesn't seem to be working. Would it be possible for you to share in English?
Yeah, but, bueno, I will try. My English is not so good, but I will try. The thing is that since the health is for us is a really important issue in our lives, we created this network for the prevention of non-chronic diseases, basically in different issues, healthy menus, the rights of the consumers, the consumer rights, dealing especially with the access to information, the critical ingredients in packet food that is full of critical ingredients like sodium, salt, sugar, grease, any kind of grease. And also we promote the what I call etiquetado frontal, labeling, front labeling of the packages, I show you, I have a here in like. I don't know if you can see. It's a black octagonal seal that is put in the package, showing that it has a lot of sugar or a lot of salt or a lot of sodium or a lot of grease, things like that. That is, for us, is really important to promote that, especially because of the ingredients labeling in the packages are not clear to understand or to read it. Also, we work with the local authorities to promote tops on the salt or sodium in the selling food in all the country, because there are a lot of sodium or salt in the food, in the expended food. So we are trying to do things like that with the community. You can put the other pictures. Always trying to work together with especially with the people, with the women that have been dealing with non-chronic diseases. Most of them have the experience of life that we call that they have, they had cancer or another diseases, that they want to share how difficult for them has been dealing with the local authorities or the solutions within their own community. For example, how to deal with the food that are sold for children, young people in the schools. For example, how to get different kind of healthy food in the schools, in the local, ¿cómo se llama? Comedores estudiantiles. Also, we created, there is not in the pictures, a youth group of people that are dealing with something called, with the support of UNICEF, called Fix My Food. It's a project dealing in different countries. Costa Rica is part of this, showing the youth people about the importance of knowing exactly what is in the food, what is in the packet food, so they can choose what is better for their health. So there had been a lot of work doing during the last year and this year also. Yesterday we have another meeting with the group to see the next step of this initiative, that it has been really important for us. We last year have some meeting with the local authorities, especially with a big meeting that was held in September last year in United States, United Nations, in New York, about international policies on non-chronic diseases, and we wanted to share the civil society voice. It was a little bit not satisfactory for us, because the Minister of Health didn't take care of about our position. That is really frustrating, but we are still working on that, because we believe that the voice of the community, the voice of sharing our problems, our, let's say, goals and dreams, that we have a healthy people living in Costa Rica and in the world. Thank you.
Thank you, Roxana, and so sorry about the translation. Our translator fell off the call just before you started, so that was bad luck. But thank you for sharing, and yeah, that was really amazing to hear. Let me just find my camera again. Right. Just actually, before we move on, just want to check if Camara Henry has managed to join us. If he managed to run off his plane on time to get to this call. I think it was probably a bit tight. Um, all right. Well, we've had three amazing speakers who've shared incredible work from very varied, such different experiences and such a wonderful representation of how a well-being economy spans to, if we're really going to look after the well-being of people, there's a lot of different things we need to take into consideration, and it's quite a different view to the typical sort of 10% rise in profit every year. In fact, it's the opposite almost. So we welcome some questions from the audience or the room to our speakers. Fatima, wonderful to see you here. Steph.
Thank you so much to all the speakers. I think between the three, it's just so apparent that when we talk about well-being, we're talking about health, and we're also talking about dignity when we look at the informal waste pickers. And more than that, we're talking about our spiritual connection or our spirit, whether that's to whatever religion you're in or whatever kind of spirituality you have. But that there's something, I just think the three speakers sort of touched on all of those aspects: dignity, health, spirit, community, that is in the concept of well-being. So thank you very much.
Thanks, Steph. Yes, it really does cover that full spectrum. And I think dignity and health are crucial. They're kind of cornerstones of well-being. And they connect to so much. And if we talk about food, as we spoke about with the anthology, it ties into our culture, and it sort of all really knits together in this big web. Saya has asked if we can get the slides. Yeah, we will be sharing a recording of this presentation as well, or of this knowledge exchange. So anyone else with something that they would like to share from their own experiences around well-being, or any questions that you might have from the speakers? Magaswari, it's really great to see you. Is there something that maybe you could share on the topic?
Hi everyone. Yeah, it's great to be here. Listening to the three speakers. Yeah, in terms of well-being, it's really important. As you had mentioned, Stephanie, about the dignity and all that. What we also find is, in terms of whatever we're looking for, is the accessibility for the consumers, and also in terms of convenience. So that is one of the main things that we have been looking into also. Thank you. Health
Thank
is
you.
really important. Yeah, that is mostly our entry point for whatever that we are looking into, working in. Okay.
Thank you. Yes, I think access is is a very key one in the global south. I mean, we've often spoken about the difference when looking at sustainable consumption between different spaces. In some spaces it might be about using less, and others it's about how do people manage with what they have, and then sharing across those spaces becomes quite key. Anyone else want to share from their context? Yotam, is there something that you would like to share from your Green Action Week or other work?
Thank you. Our work was, I participated in the Green Action Week 2024. So I had some other busy schedules in 2025. So apologies, I did not take part in that. But we focused much on sustainable consumption practices in 2024. So we had like something like awareness campaigns where we were showcasing different sustainable lifestyles that we were engaging the communities to embrace and hello, I think I lost connection. Hello.
Lost you for a minute, but we can hear you. Yeah, we can hear you.
All right, thank you. I think that's all we had. Thank you.
Thank you. Great to hear from you, and
Hi,
thank you for being
Natalie.
here.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi, how are you?
Hi, Nada. So great to see you here, and
Thank
really
you.
thinking of you guys in
Thank you.
Lebanon.
It's so difficult to communicate, but we need to run for the future, for the safety, for the peace. يعني. We need a chance to live in a world which are not have any conflict or war everywhere. Thank you
Mm,
for this meeting. And at this week, we have the Consumers' Right Day in 15th of March. And the subject, it's very related to our subject, which are the sharing community about the information about the safe product and to produce every time a safe product to in order to save the consumer, which is the main rule as organization in this world. So it's very
mm,
important to highlight it to this subject during the launching of a new campaign in GAO 2026. We have many problems and we need to give the consumers more and more information about all production, all consumption, and all the way to consume better for the future and for this moment. Thank you.
mm. Thank you. And I hear you speaking about safety on different levels, and that really
Yeah.
feels like it's part of well-being, like peace is the pinnacle of well-being, and it's something that, yeah, we should all be able to comfortably be in, and the war feels like it's really part of a very different system that is not about well-being at all and not about sharing communities. It's an entirely different mindset that doesn't make sense at all, especially in this world.
Yes.
So thinking of you, and you're holding you in our hearts.
Thank you. Thank you, Natalie. Thank you for all. Thanks.
Thank you.
Love you.
Oh, big hugs to you. Yotam, I see your hands up.
Oh yes. Sorry, I did get the last part of the question. If it also suggested that we could also share some of the projects that we are planning to do this year, or
Sure, let's
maybe I
hear.
can just share the general.
Yes, share a
All right,
general overview.
okay. Thank you. We I've been doing some series of courses with Force of Nature. And I've been empowered to run climate cafes. So I'm organizing a climate cafe within my community. We plan it to be building resilience through storytelling. So we'll be there as a community. We'll be discussing what works, what don't works, what we can do. So yes, it'll be coupled with some of the fun activities. Of course, it will be 3 hours. Want it to be 3 hours. And again, I'm also doing this with Green Space Initiative. I'm the founder of Green Space Initiative, where I want to implement a climate healthy resilient project where we're focusing on training 300 youth in the district of Kota Kota. So here where I come from, it's an area which is prone to floods. So each year, like here previously last month, we had devastating floods. About 20 people lost their lives, and people lost their properties and lots of infrastructures. And a lot of youth are having mental issues. So I want to sort of like train them on how they can hope for the future. Thank you. I think that's what I can share for now.
Thanks, Yotam. That sounds amazing. And I remember your campaign. We included it in the video. And you had such a wonderful young speaker who caught so many hearts. Got lots of feedback from the beautiful young speaker you had. And yeah, it's really important to be including youth in this journey. And this year we are building on our youth work in Green Action Week. So please, any organizations with youth arms in your organization or groups, please message us. Hannah's going to be helping out or kind of supporting the youth arm. I'm a little too old. So yeah, get in touch, and we really want to build the youth network. It's absolutely crucial that the generations of the future are passed on the skills and they sort of drum up their own energy and ways of dealing with the world as it is, and building on that sharing community that is being built so beautifully in Green Action Week. So yeah, reach out to us, and we can keep growing that together. And yeah, is there anyone else who would like to share? We've got some other faces here from different organizations, and we'd love to hear from you all. So if there's anyone who would like to share about the wellbeing economy or their campaigns. As this is our first meeting for Green Action Week this year. As Mycelium, we're also going to be doing a campaign this year. We're very excited. We're going to be doing a storytelling skill sharing campaign. So we're busy working up that idea at the moment. So Yotam, when you spoke about storytelling, I was like, yeah, I'm there with you. Roberta, is there anything you'd like to share from IDEC? Or Lloyd? All right. Well, if we've got no more further questions and no one else wants to share about their wellbeing economy experiences, then I'm going to hand over to Sarah.
Ines, sorry I missed you there for a few minutes. And can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, great. That's just that I lost the rest of you. And I'm so glad that we have kicked off our first knowledge exchange webinar for the year. We will have several, as we already said. You can suggest themes you want to discuss and want to present and want to explore. So that's why we are here, for our knowledge exchange, for our community practice, to learn from each other, to share from different parts of the world, from different contexts. What is really the core in Green Action Week is, of course, what is it in action? What is it in practice? What do we really do? We talk about well-being economy in this case. What is it? What do we do? So I'm so glad to hear from the presenters and from the rest of you who shared your insights as well, and to contribute to our collective understanding from different parts of the world. I think this is so unique that we can get it from. We have so many presentations from, and we are present from north to south, east to west today, and that's amazing. And that's really the power of Green Action Week, and the feeling that we are really part of a global community of action for a better world, for sustainable practices, sustainable lifestyles for all of us, for well-being. So, and this is what we now continue to grow, and we now have a separate page on the Green Action Week webpage that explains the community of practice. So we can also invite more people to join, even if they haven't been part of Green Action Week before, or we can just join and share together. And as we also mentioned, there will be another webinar in 2 weeks' time, the 25th of March. Friday in 2 weeks' time, the Green Action Week Youth Program will host and arrange the first Green Action Week Youth webinar for this year. And it's named Alternative Ways of Being Youth and Elders in Conversation. So most welcome to join this webinar as well. And again, you can continue contributing. If you're not part of the WhatsApp group yet, then just send us an email and we will add you to a WhatsApp group, and we can, and Hannah, you are welcome if you want to say a few words since you're here. You are most welcome to say a few words, Hannah, if you want. I see you have posted in the chat.
Hi, Sarah, and hi, everyone. Thank you to the speakers for sharing today. We are so excited about the youth program. As Sarah shared, our first webinar for the year is on Wednesday, the 25th of March. And I've just shared the registration link in the chat. It's open to anyone, so please share and join. We look forward to seeing you then.
Thank you so much, Hannah.
Can I
yes,
just jump
please.
in and ask if everyone can turn their cameras on and we can take a quick photo?
Yes.
It's always nice to see all the faces of people joining us in this beautiful community.
Who takes the photo? Is it you, Nat? Steph, have you done it?
I have done it. I was just giving a few more seconds in case more people turned on.
Okay.
Yes, I'm ready. Steady.
Yes.
Go. Well done.
And I see Camara Henry has joined us. Camara, it's lovely to see you. Unfortunately, we are actually just finishing up, but I'm glad you could join the tail end.
You have a few minutes if you want to say just a few words, Henry, but maybe you're just... Yeah. That's the online thing. You never know. But great that you're here, Henry. And we will have more space to share. If you have any suggestions, you're always welcome to contact us, info@greenactionweek.org, or you can contact us directly. We can write our names or email addresses in the chat as well before we close. And yeah, so thank you. Thank you for joining. Thank you for being part of this global community and sharing together with our joint vision of sharing community and a better world for all.